Okay, let's just jump right in. You see these two prices, right? A 200 rupee drug versus a 1,000 rupee drug. Now, on the surface, it looks like a simple price tag difference, but trust me, the story behind these numbers, well, it's about to change millions of lives.
So what does that price difference actually look like? It looks like this, minus 80%. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. An 80% price drop. That's massive. And we're not talking about some luxury item here. We're talking about a critical, life-changing medicine.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question, right? How on earth does something like this even happen? How does a revolutionary, top-of-the-line drug just suddenly become affordable for millions of people? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
All right, first things first. To really get this, we need to understand exactly what medicine we're talking about, the one at the very center of this incredible story.
Okay, so the drug is called Semaglutide, and you've got to understand this isn't just, any old pill. This is what's considered a highly effective super-modern treatment. For anyone managing type 2 diabetes, this is a genuine breakthrough.
But here's the thing about breakthroughs, isn't it? They're only really breakthroughs if people can actually get their hands on them. And to understand why this price drop is so huge, you have to look at the sheer scale of India's challenge with diabetes.
Get ready for this number, 101 million. That's how many people in India are living with diabetes right now. It is the second highest number in the entire world. And that's not just a statistic, That's an enormous number of real people who need good, effective, long-term care.
And there's the problem, right? You've got this amazing modern drug that works wonders, but it's super expensive. And then you have this massive population that desperately needs it. That creates this giant gap between what doctors can do and what people can actually afford.
So how do you fix a problem like that? What finally broke the deadlock? Well, this is where things get really interesting. It all comes down to patents and a brand new player who decided it was time to change the game.
This is actually a pretty classic story in the pharma world. See, for years, only one company had the patent, basically the exclusive rights to make and sell this drug. And when you're the only game in town, you get to set the price. But that exclusive access wasn't going to last forever.
And this chart here lays out exactly what happened next. You had the original drug, Rybelsus, from Novo Nordisk, which cost about 1,000 rupees a week. Ouch. But then their patent ran out in India, and boom, a new company, Alkem Labs, jumps in with their generic version called Semasize. And just look at that price, less than 200 rupees. The key thing to get here is that it's the same active medicine inside, just at a totally different cost to the patient.
So we've talked about patents and companies, but let's get to what really matters now. What does this price drop actually mean for a real person, for a patient, just trying to manage their health every single day?
Yeah, you don't need a PhD to figure this chart out. Look at that. That towering bar, that was the old reality. And that little one, that's the new one. For a family trying to make ends meet, that is the difference between an impossible luxury and an affordable necessity.
And the company that launched the cheaper version, Alkem, they knew exactly how big a deal this was. They literally called it a game changer for millions of patients. So you can see, they weren't just thinking of this as a business move. They were framing it as a massive step forward for public health.
And I really want to drive this point home. This isn't some flash sale or a 20% off coupon, right? For someone with a chronic illness like diabetes, this kind of price drop is an absolute lifeline. It's what turns treatment from an expensive, maybe short-term fix into something you can actually stick with for the long haul.
So, is that it? Story over? Nope, not even close. In fact, what we're seeing here is just the very beginning of a much bigger, much more important trend.
Alkem might have been the first one out of the gate, but believe me, they are not going to be the last. They basically fired the starting pistol on a race.
And we're talking about the heavy hitters here. Companies like Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Cipla, they're all expected to get in on this and launch their own versions. So yeah, the market for this vital drug is about to get very, very competitive.
And what does all that competition mean for patients? Well, it's pretty simple economics, really. The more companies competing, the lower the prices are likely to go, which means even better affordability and even wider access for people all across India. The game has truly changed.
So there you have it. We've seen how an expiring patent and some healthy competition completely unlocked a life-saving drug for millions. It's an incredible story. And it leaves you with one big question, doesn't it? If this could happen for a diabetes drug in India, what other breakthrough medicine for what other condition could be next?